Yo! Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we're on Death Row and we've got Jojo playing 3rd US Armoured Division and he's going up against Look in My Eyes, and this says something like Notice Me, and he's playing 5th Panzer Division. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments and the game, and as always timestamps in the description. Alright, so these are the deck reviews for the two players. First, we've got Jojo playing as 3rd Armoured, a div which I think is powerful, but you don't see very often. It's very good in team games. It's basically the best 10v10 deck on NATO. But in 1v1, people don't like it because it's so slow. It is quite slow on the build-up, but if you get to it, you can do a lot of damage. And on a map like Death Row, well, could be played both ways, I suppose, could be seen both ways. Anyway, 3 cards of supply, very normal because this is a late game deck. It is a heavy tank deck. Your tanks are constantly going to be taking hits and need repairing, taking hits, need repairing, and you should be buying your arty, right? And that should be firing for a long time, so yeah, 3 cards of supply, very normal. Then, looking at the supply options, so this one is 5 points less than this, but is armoured but is slow. So if this was like 40 or even 35, this would be much more useful because it's essentially once you've spent all your stuff, you might have 25 points left, you might have 40. But because this is only 5 points more, you do lose the armor, but it's a lot faster. Well, okay, so off-road it's actually slower, but on-road it is faster. So I prefer 2 cards of M35 supply. And then for your third one, you can either bring some like helicopter or something. In a team game, helicopter would be good. On Death Row, supply helicopter is not a good idea. Very small map, so you don't get the advantage that their speed gives them. Basically, helicopters, the bigger the map, the more useful they are because you can move them around more laterally, but also from the spawn to the front line. If you buy them at the start of the game, they start on the ground, but if you buy them later, they start in the air. The main thing is the landing. They take ages to land. And so on a... and then they're exposed because the enemy sees them land, shoots artillery, etc. So in a narrow map, the truck is faster because the truck doesn't have to land. On a bigger map, the helicopter's faster because the disadvantage from landing is offset by the fact that it is, literally more than twice the speed. So, yeah, I prefer the Hempt in this situation, definitely. And in general, in 1v1, supply helos, you can do without them. Looking at the CV options, we've got this one, which is tracked 2 per card, 40 points. This, which is a Helo CV, which I really don't like. It's only 2 per card, and it's got the same problems, right? So there's no way you can put this in a contested zone, because they'll shoot it, they'll see it, and when it's on the ground, they'll RT it, right? So that's not very useful in Death Row. But yeah, just in general, I think they're very easily spotted. In like a big team game, they can be useful. If you're on a map like Volcano or something, a Helo CV is actually pretty good, but in 1v1, I don't like them at all. So yeah, this is tracked. Then this is wheeled 3 per card, which can give you an advantage at the start of the game. But it's twice the price. It's literally twice the price. So you can buy 2 of these at the start for 1 of these, and the fact of the matter is 3rd wants to go late anyway. 3rd is going to be behind at the start anyway, and so the tracked one I think makes more sense. Then if you start spending a lot more, 60 points more, you can get a Bradley. Bradley, yeah, killing potential's there, but CVs they have very low availabilities, and so you don't really want this fighting. It's got very good self-defense, but you don't really want it fighting because it's not got the armor to survive, and the enemy will focus it down. Even artillery would kill it with 1 top armor. And then, yeah, the better Bradley for 15 points more, and the difference is it's got 2 more front armor, so it'll survive a 17 AP missile, right? So yeah, I think this is probably the best shout, or this one, just for the extra availability and the fact that you're going to get there faster, but I understand why this has been brought. Inf, so MP Patrol, very, very useful unit. Sadly, they don't come in a military police car, unlike all the packed commandeurers on USSR. They all come in a military police car. The advantage of the military police car is you click on it, Shift F, click on your tank, follows your tank around, gives your tank additional suppression regeneration. Very, very, very useful for heavy tanks. So it's a shame they don't get that, but the squad itself is actually pretty good. Gives you the military police trait, which increases suppression regeneration. So what you can do is if your tank's low cohesion, you can pull it back to one of these and just sit it on top of it, and it'll get its cohesion back faster. So you can put one of these next to your supply. That's pretty high level. It's very rare to see that happen, but it can be done. It's just they won't be able to keep up with the tank while it's on the move because they're 24 kilometers an hour, unless you start doing some wacky stuff where you keep the transport with them and unload them and reload them, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Your micro's better spent keeping your heavy tank alive. Then we've got 2 cards of Fire Team Dragon, so these are 6 men with the Dragon 2. The Dragon 2 used to be more of an ATGM, but its range went down quite a bit, and now it can fire in forests, and now it's basically America's best rocket launcher, because it can fire in the forests. It does 18 AP, like the AT4, which does 17. And they've got 2 MGs, which isn't bad. The M60 is worse than other 7.62 belt-fed MGs. Can prove that to you. Fire Team Dragon. What are we looking for here? Who's got 1 PKP? It's like Razvedka or something. Razvedka. Bear with me. Weird. Who's got 1 PKP? Oh, is it PKM? I mean, we'll find out when we get there. Because if we go for PKM, right, those are teams, and that is 3, which is kind of annoying. Well, what are gunners bringing? Okay, well, look, the ×3, right, only affects the HE and the suppression, so just ignore that. But you'll see that the reload time of the M60 is a lot higher than the reload time of the M240 Bravo, despite them both being belt-fed 7.62 machine guns. And so yeah, the M60 is actually the worst 7.62. There's actually quite a few things like that the Americans just have worse in-class equipment for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, you get 2 MGs, but this one isn't as good as this one. Yeah, it's like this can't shoot when it's in the same building. This can, although the traits wouldn't tell you that. This can't shoot when it's moving. This can. But yeah, you don't want to be moving when you're firing your Dragon. Anyway, it's 2 MGs, 40 points, Dragon 2, 6 strength. Not a bad squad, to tell you the truth. And he's brought it in the better Bradley, as we spoke about. 5 armor, 5 front armor, 4 side armor is important. So basically, 17 heat AP will one-shot 3 front armor. So that's an AT4. 18 heat AP will one-shot 4 armor, so that's a Dragon 2. And 19 AP will one-shot 5 armor, and there's not that much that's 19.5 AP. I think the AS11 on the Magister AT plane is 19 AP. But the fact of the matter is 5 front armor means you're going to be surviving bundles of sticks, original toes, they're 16, and AT4s, and Metis at 17, and Dragon 2s at 18. So 5 armor's pretty good. The other thing is the TOW 2A. So the advantage of the TOW 2A is that it's got this tandem trait, which means that against targets which have ERA, it will do +1 damage, thus negating ERA. So what were we talking about? 19 one-shots 5 armor, 20 6, 21 7, 22 8, 23 9, 24 10, and 25 11. So a TOW 2 will one-shot an 11 front armor vehicle, which is a T55. Are there any 11 front armor vehicles with ERA? I can't remember, but it will do +1 damage against targets with ERA. So we're talking like T80BVs, it'll do 1 extra damage to it, which can make the T80BV die in 2 hits to this TOW as opposed to the other TOW. I'd have to go and check that. Anyway, it's nice to have. So for 10 extra points, it's basically the armor, right? The tandem's nice. I mean, you don't even get any extra accuracy, but it's mainly the armor. So 2 cards of that. Engineer's Dragon. I used to be a big fan of these, but the price just kept going up. They used to be like 40 points. Anyway, Dragon 1, 14 AP, not fantastic. It's basically a meat shield squad, 10 men for 50 points, which I actually prefer regular engineers now for that. But, you know, the dragon, it's got the dragon. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. And then you can bring it in the truck or in the M113. Having more M113s is always useful for fire support. Having a 50 cal is not so bad. They're not very cost efficient anymore. They should really be 15. If you compare this to like a BWP1 for 5 points more, you get an ATGM, a Grom, 3 armor, you know. Anyway, so yeah, that's fair enough. And then Fire Team 84 in the trucks. So this is your anti-tank, more or less. I mean, this is also your anti-tank as we spoke about. But basically, it is good to have some infantry in trucks so that you can get them there quickly. Because if everything's coming in... why is this at 48 AP? Did I take something out by accident? Yeah, I removed this, didn't I? Or something like that. That's weird. I'm not sure what happened there. Because that's 3. It was at 48. I've been reviewing the wrong deck. I reviewed my deck. Anyway, this was all right. Yeah. Then this I've talked about. This I've talked about. This I've talked about. This is where the discrepancies start coming up. So we spoke about Fire Team 84 in the Humvee. That's fantastic. Then he doesn't have the Engineer's Dragon, which is great news because I was just talking about how bad they were and how Engineers are better. So isn't wow? I love it when a plan comes together. So I haven't updated my deck clearly. So there you go. I actually said I prefer Engineers for 10 men, right? And then they get the satchels. So this is an equally useful meat shield squad, which also has the ability to throw satchels. I would be bringing this at 1 vet. And we spoke about, you know, M35 versus this, and we spoke about how this isn't cost efficient anymore. I mean, you can bring it, but generally for engineers, you want them to go in a town and shoot people, and this isn't going to be too useful there. And you usually want them in as quick as possible. So yeah, I agree with bringing it in the truck, and I agree with engineers over engineers dragon. Same price, right? Same availability. These have a town fighting capability. But I would be having these at 1 vet. Then Ito, so between the TOW 2 and the Ito, the Ito is 20 points cheaper. It's got the same pen as a Conquer's, so it'll one-shot 6 armor, so it'll one-shot a Leopard 2 side armor. And you could argue that you've got plenty of, you know, TOW 2s on your fire team Dragon Bradleys, so I think it makes sense to bring the Ito. It is a shame that the availability is so low, actually, because the Conquer's comes at 6 per card, and also has 20 pen. It's got, so it's like 5% less accuracy, maybe 10, actually, but having 2 more availability per card means that, you know, at the same vet, it's going to have pretty similar accuracy. The advantage of the Ito and the TOW 2 is they've got 3 HP instead of 2. Which does provide an advantage. And yeah, you want this at no vet, because either it's shooting happily, or it's being shot and it wants to run away. You don't need suppression resistance. Then he's got a card of Air Cav Troopers in the Black Hawk. So I'd be bringing these at 1 vet as well, if you actually want them to do anything. And yeah, I mean, they've got security when they're stood still. Because you could say you don't have that much infantry, but actually you do, unless you're just wasting it. So yeah, I mean, they can be useful. It can be nice to have a helo guy, you know, for if you see some ground and you just need to fill the gap quickly. It can be useful. I personally would be bringing additional fire team dragons, or you know, even so you can get fire team. What is that? 105, the cheapest one. Okay, yeah, I mean, it can work. As you saw, my 3rd armor deck hasn't been updated in a long time, so I can't really talk, can I? Artillery, so M109 howitzer, very useful, and then simply because of the AP here, you know, you can't really afford 2 or whatever. Well, you can't afford 2 cards. And then mortars for smoke. And yeah, self-propelled mortars way more useful than regular mortars because they don't die as often to counter battery, because you should be moving them after every salvo, which I do forget to do, and then I lose games. So, you know, do what I say, not what I do. So yeah, how it says, this is actually decent in team games, but in 1v1 it fires very slowly. And it reloads for a long time. It's good against like tanks basically, but your tanks are good against tanks, so you don't really need it. I prefer I mean, if you got 2 AP, you could bring it, but yeah, it's very hungry on the supply as well. It is nice. It is a nice vehicle, and they reduced the minimum range a couple patches ago, and you can use it a lot more now. But yeah, you can do without. In a team game, you should be bringing 2 cards. In 10v10, you should have 2 cards of this. Tanks, so M1, A1, CV card, two of those. So there you go, 3 CV cards for a total of 6 CVs. So that's good stuff. 5 is the absolute minimum, really. If you bring in less than 5 CVs, you're just asking for it. And yeah, 6 is a comfortable number. I like having 6 or 7. In very small cases, I have 5. If I just can't fit things in, something's got to go. And in team games, you can afford fewer CVs because your team should have a lot of CVs across the team. So this is the best gun tank in the game. The TAEUD could be described as the best tank because I think it's got more armor. HAUD. So it has more armor because it's got ERA. It's got 8 side armor. The gun is worse, but it fires faster. But your HA should be at 1 vet anyway, so it'll be 10 ROF anyway. The TAEUD is better because of the reflex missile, giving it that super duper range. With 21 pen is pretty spicy. Heat pen and kinetic pen aren't on the same scale, so will deal different damage to targets, which is kind of dumb. But hey, so that those two 21s aren't the same. The 21 kinetic is worse than the 21 heat. But yeah, the Heart Abrams is very strong. And it's a little bit faster, right? At gun range, it's the best tank in the game because look at that 22 pen. So a 21 kinetic pen will one-shot a 3 armor vehicle at max range. 21 kinetic pen, not heat pen. 21 heat pen will one-shot... I need to do that again. So 20 is 6. Yeah, so 21 is 7. So the reflex will one-shot a 7 armor vehicle. So the side armor on a TAUD. Whereas the 2A46M will one-shot a 3 armor vehicle, even though they both say 21. So obviously it's ridiculous, but hey, it keeps me in business, doesn't it? Because if you knew how to play, you wouldn't have to watch these videos. So, yeah, the Ha-Ha with the 22 is going to be one-shotting those 4 armor vehicles, which is a BMP2, which is a pretty common opponent, actually, especially these days. So yeah, the Ha-Ha is very, very good. It is the best gun tank in the game. You've got the Leopard 2A4C thing, that's 21 pen. Same fire rate and accuracy and everything. But less armor. Although I think the one on the left is kind of overperforming for the price. Anyway. This is my deck again, which I clearly haven't played in a long time. I just have to edit that part out. So... yeah, 3 of these makes a lot of sense. Do not bring these at no vet. Please don't. So yeah, I think I agree with the 1 vets. And then 2 more cards of M1A1 Abrams. Then you've got the ITV, which is a TOW 2 for 75 points with mediocre stealth. I don't agree with this at all, to tell you the truth. I think if you want a TOW 2, you've got plenty in this tab. Although, actually, you don't have plenty in this tab. I think this... I would be bringing more Bradleys, to tell you the truth. In this day and age, I'd be bringing more Bradleys. Like, which one of these 4 could you get rid of? This is actually quite useful on the defensive. That's a 3 AP slot, and this will be like 2, yeah. So maybe you need it, but 75 points for a Tow 2 when you can get for 75 even you could get more Bradleys. These two sort of like, so the Air Cav Troopers and the Fire Team 84 have similar roles in that this is a Fire Brigade squad and this is a sort of Fire Brigade squad as well, although you don't have wheeled AT infantry, so you kind of need them. So yeah, maybe you just have to put up with it. Sag. Yeah, we'll see how useful these are in the game. I mean, if you need more toes, then I guess it makes sense. Like you can have it with your armored blob. It's just it's got no YPR. So for the same price, the Dutch one is faster and has smoke and a machine gun. Now, you might think, well, it's only an MMG. It's actually really useful because if you're locking down a sector and the enemy just runs... Because if it's like an Iltis Milan, the enemy can just run infantry up to it and shoot it. The Iltis Milan should get away, if you're paying attention, whereas the Pratt can actually win that fight. If it's just an open field, the Pratt will start shooting with the MG, and if the infantry's just some, you know, dog water squad, they're going to go down. The main advantage of the Pratt is the smoke. The smoke's very, very useful. So yeah, and the cost's the same, so it's kind of weird. I think this should probably be 5 points cheaper, the ITV. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And then the CEV for anti-infantry at no vet. I mean, I'd be bringing this at least 1 vet. People look at how cheap it is and like, I need 6. There's actually very few situations where you'll be buying this because the Bradley kind of does the same thing. So I'd be bringing this at 1 vet. Because it's not got smoke. So you're going to get hit and then you need to be able to leave. And if you've got no vet, you're much more likely to just be 0 cohesion, stunned, routed, whatever. You can get stunned or routed anyway because it's on an RNG, which is dumb. Then we've got the sniper. So what's this? It's mediocre stealth. Okay. So snipers, yeah, can be useful. I mean, I think you could do without them personally. Bradley CFV, so this is good at the start of the game, and it's got mediocre stealth, so you can store it in places and use it to shoot people. I'd be bringing 2 cards of Bradley CFV if I were in your shoes instead of the sniper. And then you can get rid of this, bring some more tanks, right? Or you can, you know, get rid of this and I don't know. I don't play this div enough, really. You can do the sniper can be useful, right? It is useful if you get it into a good spot. It can give you some really good information. And on a map like Urban Frontlines, I've played against people on 3rd Armoured who have just put 3 snipers in the middle at the start, and it's actually pretty good at zoning your infantry. Especially these American snipers with their book deals and their 2 sniper rifles, basically. Whereas other snipers tend to have like 1 DMR or 1 sniper, 1 rifle. This is actually 2 snipers. So this is the second best sniper in the game, sniper card, behind the sniper M82 on 9th US. Scouts in the... yeah, so the ACAV is way too expensive at 55. It used to be a lot cheaper, but somebody did some rushes and then it got nerfed massively. And now it's like, you know, BMP2 price practically is a bit silly. So yeah, it makes sense to bring it in this. This has got good stealth, good optics. You can put it with your tanks to give you some additional recon. In 1v1, this can be useful because it allows you... So like, you could have this instead of the sniper. But I mean, it's up to you. But this allows you to cover the width of the map with these at the start. They're only tow 1s. But they've got the 50 cal, and they've got the ATGM, and they've got smoke, and they've got mediocre stealth, good optics, and so you can actually cover your flanks with these. Because right now you'd be, I mean, you can use these 2, but they don't actually have any anti-vehicle capability. And this, you only get 3 of them, and they're not cheap, so you can't really use them to cover the whole map. And this, which is a Hellfire one, very funny to use actually. It's difficult to keep alive. And it's only got 2 availability, and it's basically 3 times more expensive than the other one. But the Hellfires at the start of the game, if you can open like Eagle and this, the enemy doesn't have forward deployed AA, you can do a lot of damage with this at the start. So it is good if you can keep it alive. AA, Stinger Chaparrals, that's fair enough. The thing is, right, the Pivads is a very good anti-infantry, and so, you know, between these two, well, okay, the CV's got a lot more range and a lot more armor, so it's probably... And its alpha damage is very high, as in it does a massive amount of damage, and then it reloads for ages, but the massive amount of damage is already, like, 432 suppression, bam, YOLO cohesion, right? So yeah, the pivads can be used, but I understand, you know, sort of slot limited here. So yeah, Stingers, Chappies, that's fine, really. Helitab, so 2 Apache rockets for the rockets, and then Apache ATGM for the Hellfire, and Apache ATGM for the Hellfires. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, so I don't really like these rockets much. I guess you get it more for the autocannon, really, and the rockets are decent, but you know, you can bring the same amount of rockets in the Hog. It's just it's got 2 less HP. It's got a worse gun. It's got less armor. Armor matters for small arms, not missiles. On helicopters, on planes it still matters for missiles. And yeah, it's got more ECM. So yeah, I think for 50 points it can be worth it. But the advantage of the Hog is it's 2 per card. But yeah, like I said, I don't play this div enough really. And then Air, 2 Eagles and a Phantom, which I think is how I do it as well. You don't really have the... so, like, you can start bringing Seed and stuff, but your Strikecraft aren't really very good. So there's no point playing this as an air spam deck. You get the 2 cards of Eagles so you can defend your tanks. And then this is like a breakthrough bomber. If the enemy breaks through, you can bomb him, so that's useful. What I've seen a lot of people do is 1 Eagle, 1 Phantom, because the Phantom's literally 95 points cheaper. And so it's good to get the Phantom to get cheap plane, right? It is worse, but is it 95 points worse? Anyway, so I made a bit of a mountain out of that molehill, but hopefully you learned something. Now let's have a look at LookInMyEyes' deck. This guy likes playing meta divs, likes playing tank divs. Tank IFV spam. Well, he just plays whatever's strong, really. I mean, I don't blame him. There's always going to be somebody like that. I think he's ranked 2 at the moment. Oh, wow. Oh, he's gone down a lot. He was ranked 2 yesterday. Or might have been the day before. And he was ranked 2 for a very long time. He was ranked 1 at one point, so I'm not sure what happened there. He must have lost a couple games. Where are we? Anyway. So, 3 cards of supply, very sensible for a tank div with lots of tanks and RT, right? Then, yeah, CV, so this is 2 per card wield. It's got smoke, which is actually pretty useful. The smoke really makes it. This is nice and cheap, so you can put it with your RT, but this is 3 per card and wield. It's not as survivable as the Fox, but it's 3 per card, so I understand it. Infantry, and then yeah, this is your super duper. I need to next time I play it, I need to start putting the so okay, so he's gone for Pioneer Carl Gustav at 10 strength over. Yeah, because I've been bringing Panzer Grenadier Carl Gustav, and they don't actually come in a wheeled transport, and then I start having some problems. But yeah, I need to try it his way actually. So yeah, 55 points is a bit rough, but you get them for the Carl Gustav and decent anti-infantry. No vet, I don't agree with at all. These at 2 vet, I do agree with if you've got 4 cards of them. But yeah, this should really be at 1 vet. And then Pioneers. So between these 2, right, the Fox, you can't sell it, but it is actually faster and it's got smoke. So there's a case to be made for both. But yeah, if you want to get in super duper fast, the Fox is actually better for that. I can't remember which one I bring mine in. I bring it in the Fox, yeah. So it's worth looking into. And yeah, these should definitely be at 1 vet. And then the Fox Milan. So this is like bad stealth for 35 points. I mean, yeah, it can work, I guess. It's just yeah, it's good ATGM spam, I guess. And then you've got the Milan in the vehicle. I need to check mine. Am I doing that? I'm actually learning something here because I'm not very good at 5th Panzer. I am doing that. Okay. Wow, I'm good at remembering. Good at remembering here. Um, yeah, no Zickerungs is interesting. So I was bringing Zickerungs as my wheeled infantry, but if you've got Pioneer Carl Gustav, which should be at one vet, then you don't really need Zickerungs. You can do without them because you've got a wheeled infantry, and these guys actually have AT. They are, 10 points more, but it is what it is. Arty, so I don't agree with. So these, right, they work if your micro's super duper good, because they are proper cheap. I don't think you need four in any case, so I'd be upvetting these anyway. In team, four, okay, but in 1v1, 4 Arty is a bit weird. So I'd be upvetting them. Or like upvet one, leave one downvetted or something. But yeah, I vastly preferred just two of these at one vet, or one of these at no vet, so you get two anyway, because they're just way easier to micro, so you don't lose them to counter battery. Although I have lost them to counter battery anyway because I just forgot to move them. But it's I like them. I think they're very good. Then we've got some mortars here, self-propelled mortars for smoke. Next time I play 5th Panzer, I'm going to experiment with, because I've got 2 cards of this. Mine is like that. So I was going to take 1 card of this out and put the Lars in and see if just spamming 2 Lars on people is useful. And then like downvet that, in case I, need 2 of them. It's a lot of arty, really. But yeah, I'm going to try it and see if it works, because you can... Like, it's very supply hungry, but you can really annoy the hell out of people by just spamming Lars into them. So it's worth a try, but anyway, this is how he had it. I don't agree with this unless your micro's super mega cool. And even then, I don't agree with it, because you should be spending that super mega cool micro on something important. Having said that, 140 versus 215 is literally a 75 point saving. Right, it's literally a third of the cost of the unit. Tank tab, so this is your super mega tank. It's, like we said, it's one of the better tanks. It's very cost efficient. This tank is also very, very cost efficient at 230. Then we've got 2 CV cards here for a total of 3 cards of CVs. I beat this guy once when actually he was playing 4th Polish, so I guess he doesn't always play meta decks. And it's because I killed all his CVs. So looks like he's learned from that lesson. And yeah, Leopard 1A5 at 1 vet is very normal. So between your tanks, right, you got the Leopard 1A5 and then the Leopard 1A 1A1, which I mean, it's just got two ticks less range, less accuracy, less pen. At the same range, it would have 1 less pen than Leopard 1A5. But it is, cheaper. So I've seen people like 2-vet this and just bring 4 at the start and use those 4 to just get a lot of damage done at the start. But if the enemy's got a Leopard 1A5, he's going to hit that reverse, and you're actually not going to kill him. You will be able to zone him, but you will struggle against, ATGMs and so on because your range is not great. But you do have smoke. It's a reasonably fast tank, so it can work, but I prefer Leopard 1A5s. And then yeah, Jaguar 2 for this thing I don't even talk about it because of how bad it is. So that's me talking about it there. And then Jaguar 2 for TOW 2s. So this is like the ITV, except for 10 points more, you get smoke and way more armor, which means that when the enemy hits you with his tank, you're actually going to survive. But Conkers will one-shot this, as I've been learning recently, and so will a. So that's all BMP 2s, right? And so will an Ito. And then, yeah, for 20 points less, you can get the Hot 1, which has a lot less pen and less accuracy, but it actually carries more missiles. And the thing is, the salvo length's still 1, so, yeah. But yeah, it is 20 points less, but I prefer paying 20 points more for something that's really going to do a lot of damage on people. Yeah. Recon tabs, so Fernschbeer, these are 5th Panzer's airborne forward deployment with their laws. Very strong squad because they've now got laws, they didn't used to have that. And then Jäger Aufklärer for the additional recon, nice tanky squad. Then he actually brings regular Aufklärer in the Iltis. No, I don't actually think you need more than 10 recon infantry. I think that's massive overkill. I'd be bringing 2 cards of Lux instead, which is I think what I'd do. Or you could bring more tanks here. Like, how much is that? 3 points. Well, now you could bring more infantry, or you could bring 2 more RT. I wouldn't do that. Or you could bring this and 1 more RT, right? Or you could bring 2 Lux. Or you could bring the Racist to give exceptional optics to your tanks. You just buy this, click it, Shift F, click on your tank. It'll just follow your tank around, give it exceptional optics. I think I've been going for the 2 Lux strat, and then I've not really been using them. So that's something I need to work on. Or I might swap it out for the Racist. And yeah, the Alouette for looking at things. AA, so Roland 3, Roland 2 Gepard. That's an interesting decision. No man pads, no Zwillinger. The Zwillingers are very good against infantry, although I've been having some issues with not having man pads. I really do like having man pads, even though this isn't a very good man pad, like, at all. You know, if you 2-vet it, then you might be able to shoot down a helicopter, maybe, right? Roland 3 is a radar one. Roland 2 is worse, but it's non-radar. And the Gepard's also radar. I did have one situation where I ran out of Roland 3s. Because mine's literally Roland 3, Gepard, and then Zwillinger. But I have been struggling against helicopters in, like, if the helicopter hides behind a tree line, find it hard to get the Gepard over there. Whereas the Fliegerfaust, you can get them a lot closer. The Zwillinger, it's got good stealth, actually, so you should be able to get it a lot closer, but because it's coming in the car, which actually has mediocre stealth, interesting, because it's coming in the car, it can be difficult. Anyway, helos, so this is Hot 1 for 55 points, 6 availability, or you can pay 10 points more for a Hot 2, and 15% more accuracy, but you do lose 2 availability. This is the same discussion that we had about the other thing, the Jaguars. I prefer the one that kills people. And then air, so AT plane, yes, very useful. 30 rocket plane, yes, very useful, because it's 3 availability, and these rockets reload in 32 seconds. They reload both at the same time as well, and it'll fire. It'll fire like 10. It'll leave 2 in each pod, right? 16 minus 2 again is 12. It'll fire 12 in one pass if you get it lined up properly, and then you can just evac it, or you can try and come back around to fire the next 4 and die. And then 2 F4Fs, or 2 cards of F4F for a total of F4Fs. A total of 4 F4Fs. Yeah, we've got 3 points here, so you could start putting things like this in, or, you know, I just don't understand what this is adding, really. Or, you know, 8 Lux is actually not so bad, because you can just keep sending them around the side for the whole game and just really annoy people. It is very much a possibility, so that's what I do. Or at least I put it in the deck and then I forget to do that. Anyways, let's get on with the, you know, the game, etc. Timestamps in the description, as always. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. Death Row, it's in the ranked pool. It's quite an imbalanced map. Red is very much on the good side here. And it's the good side because, so Alpha is basically supposed to be red zone, and Echo is supposed to be blue zone. They're obviously both up for contention. But what essentially ends up happening is Red gets all this. Right? So look at what Red's getting here. They're getting all of this zone except this house. And they're getting the best part of this zone, because this is just some trees. And there's only 2 houses there, 2 house complexes there. Whereas there's a lot more on this side. So this map is very Red favoured. It's one of the more imbalanced maps, actually. And with 2 slow armoured divisions, I think Blue's stuffed, essentially. As for these zones over here, Charlie is a little bit easier to attack than Foxtrot, because if you get into Charlie, you can just hide behind this building, whereas if you get into Foxtrot, you can just hide behind this building, so actually it's basically the same. So yeah, it's a very imbalanced map. And yeah, further to that, Red gets this at the start. If they airborne forward deploy it, they should get there first. And with this, they get... Well, actually, do they? I think Blue might get there first, actually. If they use this road, although he started it the wrong... He needs to be here, really. He needs to be on this side. He's losing a lot of time there. Also, a sniper wouldn't... Anyway, Yeah, I can't remember. I think this might just be basically even Stevens, or blue might get it. But either way, if red takes this, then he's taken alpha. Like, it's just not fair. It's just not a fair map. And for Echo, you know, red automatically just gets way more places to hide his stuff. And with red being a faster division than blues, it's going to be a very tough, very, very tough game for our friend Jojo here. So, in terms of the matchup, right, we've basically spoken about it, but third Armoured is better in the late game because it gets Bradley's and M1A1 HA Abrams. But 5th Panzer is much better in the early game because it can buy 1 Leopard 2 A3 per minute, right? Whereas the third Armoured just can't buy any of its tanks 1 per minute unless you're going to class the CV as a tank, which, okay, fine. And it can buy 3 Marders a minute, I think. He's not open with any. Pretty sure they can. Depends what it's coming in. But they should be able to buy 3 Marder 1A2 Milans a minute. And you can't buy 3 Bradleys a minute. It's like 2 Bradleys a minute. And so, yeah, red gets a lot more momentum than blue. He's on the good side, so that's the matchup. Looking at the deployments here, we've got LookInMyEyes sending an Avclaire down to here with a recon helo behind. Looks on the Charlie road just going to here, just so he can see things. You could send it a little bit more forwards, but I guess he's worried about a Bradley shooting him or something. Another recon helo going over mid, so there's a lot of this been going around, just sort of YOLOing recon helos into people to see things. Yeah, I don't really rate it. I mean, it can work if you're doing a rush strat and you need to know which road's free, but otherwise it's just a waste, really. Having said that, we'll see what happens. I mean, this one's obviously in a very safe position. He's not just sending it all the way down. Fernspare going to mid. They've got ground surveillance radar, which is very useful. And then an Aufklärer behind going to the leftmost point on Echo. And yeah, this is a really nice house to have. You basically see the whole map, the whole zone, right? They have to hide a CV in here, and then you just party it to death. Both guys do get access to the M270. The German one's called the Mars. The cluster one is called the Mars, and the third armored one is called M270 cluster, and that would actually be very, very useful on this map because of how small it is. There's really only a few places the CV can be, right? It's probably going to be in here for blue. It's probably going to be in here, sorry, for red. It's probably going to be in here for blue, or in here. And so, and yeah, on red on this side, it's going to be in here or in here. So actually, that's actually really useful to have on this map. It's just, I believe this was a ranked game, and so they don't actually, they didn't know they were going to get this one. With there being like 11 maps in the pool or whatever. So that's fair enough, really. So yeah, Aufklärer, Fernsperr. Then Jäger Aufklärer on the right side. And this actually only has recon deployment as opposed to airborne deployment. And Fernsperr going to the right side of Alpha. Jaguar 2 for the right side, stacking up with the toes. And yeah, lots of... okay, so big tank push here. So 2 supply, 2 Leopard, 2 A4Cs, so that the good one, a Gepard, 1A1, and a Roland 3. So switching to the opponent's Fernsperr, we've got Jojo with a Bradley on the left, basically doing the same thing the Jaguar 2's gonna do. A sniper going up against the Fernsperr. Sorry, I don't even know if I'm saying it properly. Germany's my third most viewed region. I don't know why. All I do is bash them all day, so I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. I don't really deserve it, but yeah, Germany's my third biggest region in terms of views. It's literally like 30% Americans, which is also quite surprising because I just insult them all the time as well. And then it's Britain, and then it's Germany. So yeah, 2 Bradleys here. So they'll have the tow advantage here, but with the tanks will just one-shot them at this range. Because kinetic AP increases with decreasing distance. So that's going to be tough. But yeah, you don't really want to be... On this map it's a bit different because it's so small. But on most maps you don't want to be opening heavy tank. And so this guy opening 2 heavy tanks... We'll see if he gets punished, but this is a slow div anyway, so you can sort of afford to do it. So yeah, 2 Bradleys there, and then a Chaparral and a CUV. So the CUV is the anti-infantry thing we spoke about in the deck review. And then the Chaparral for air defense. And then in mid, scouts go into the building. And behind that, we got a Stinger. This is, yeah, I mean, as you can see, it can't actually shoot. Oh, because if there's a helo here, it wouldn't actually be able to see it because there's a big... Well, okay, actually, it depends. It might be able to see it, actually. We'll see. Hopefully. And then an ITV with its tow 2, and he's put it here, right? So here, you can actually shoot down this road a little bit. Not all the way down, but you can shoot them here, which people generally don't expect. Usually you want a tank there, because if the tows come in, they'll react. But, you know, you can't afford the tank at the start. Bradley thing, he's put it here, and now it can shoot down that axis. And a CV for Delta Alpha. He's actually going to try and hide here. Well, we'll see how that goes for him. On the right, we got Sniper. Then we got a Bradley, so that is what we spoke about before. So this is going to look down there, and it would beat the Lux, because its gun's better, and it's got a tow, and it's got more armor. I mean, it also costs twice as much. And so, yeah, so I suppose this makes sense now. And some scouts. And a Kiowa, right, for the Hellfires we spoke about. Another Stinger. And another CV for Foxtrot, and then presumably into Echo. So with that out the way, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos at a rate of 1 per week. So there's about 70 of those now, because I've been doing this for quite a while. It's a great way to support the channel. If you don't want to do that, please just like the video. It's free. It's free, bro. It's free. I mean, it's literally free. I don't understand. How do I get people to like the video? They just don't want to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Anyway, I do appreciate it. There's a lot of Warnoers, right? Lots of other people you could be watching. Yeah, so Look in My Eyes, opening 1 CV, is actually going to lose out to Jojo's 2 CVs. And here's the Kiowa, and this is exactly what we were speaking about. This missile is really fast. I'm surprised he put it on this road and not this road, because this is generally where things happen. And then what tends to happen is somebody immediately buys a jet and kills this, because it's 120 points. So yeah, Sniper is probably going to lose to the Fernspare, and the Stinger should take out the Alouette, but basically, iLooker has spotted basically all of Jojo's deployment at this point. So what Jojo could have done there is just unload the Stinger here, as opposed to there, because being down the hill meant that he didn't see it for a little bit longer there. It's not a big thing. And then, yeah, you don't want to just leave this here, because somebody will suicide a jet into it, because it's 120 points, and it has the same availability as the jet, 2 per card. So once it's done its thing, you really want to pull it back and hide it somewhere, preferably land it, otherwise enemy bombers might kill it by accident with their Sidewinder missiles. Anyway, the fun part is happening here. And okay, so the M2 Bradley actually survives there. Where's the smoke? What's he doing? Okay, well, it was way too late on that. I think he panicked a bit. If you spam B loads of times, did you see how the circle kept resetting? That's what happens if you spam B loads of times. Anyway, not sure why Look in My Eyes retreated there, and he's gonna use the F4F rocket to just shoot it with the guns. Okay, now he's changed his mind. But yeah, look at this, 155, right, 120. This is 3 per card. It's actually worth it. I'd go for it if I was in his position. Anyway, Leopard 2A4s should be able to cut this down here. And this Bradley's just sat in the open. You could at least put it back here, right? Because if you put it here, then you're going to get shot. Got to pay attention to those ranges. Because, yeah, the TOW 2 should damage the Leopard 2, but... Well, that... Okay. And then the F4F's going to kill one of these. Oh, I mean, basically, right. So, not great trying to cut across to here. I mean, when he saw the tank, he should have realised, really, okay, that's there. We can't go over here from here because we'll just get shot. But he went for it anyway, and now basically everybody's dead because this will just kill this, right? Yeah, because this is Special Forces and so on. Chappie doing a bit of missing there. which you'd expect, really. Although, there you go, it hit something. And, yeah, these are 3 per card, as we spoke about. Chaparral just pouring out the rounds. It's going to hit something eventually. And there you go, the Stinger. Oh, no, the Eagle. The Eagle fired 2 AMRAAMs at it. So, yeah, this is a firing spaghetti missile, which means that it can fire them reasonably quickly. So it can load up the second one before the first one's hit the target. So, Bradley versus Jaguar. The thing is, right, these can both one-shot each other, but this is 85 points. Also, it doesn't help if a Leopard 2A4 hits you. So, really not looking great for Jojo at all. What I would have done if I was in his position is hold this and do my absolute best to sort this out at the start and push up to here. And then, you know, sort that out. Because now, like, I mean, Red is here. The only reason he's not got a CV in here is because he's just not put anybody in there. And, like, I'm not sure what Red's doing here, really. Like, he knows that there's nobody in here because he's got the recon, so he should really try and get all this, basically, up there. So there you go, Eagle, strafing a Beaupart. Not really very intelligent, coming in from that side. What you can do... So he does actually get out there. What you can do is come in from this side, which means... And then, like, shift Q here... And then you won't be exposed to the enemy AA for as long, whereas he came in from, like, here, and so he flew right over that Roland. But he does get it there, and now Eye Enjoyer is taking out a Chaparral there, because, like, I mean, I don't understand why that was there, really. Maybe he assumed that this was coming in here and that he couldn't do anything about it, but then just parked the CUV in front of it, I suppose. And yeah, this is a very difficult position to be in. Just in general, the blue side of the map's kind of garbage. Red isn't really capitalizing on that. Like, he should, like, being here is fine, right? Because look, if you put a tank here, you see down here, which means that it's even harder for blue to sort it out because you start getting shot as you try and get down here. So you got to bring them up here, right? And then they see you there. So you're always in vision. It's very difficult to stage here if you lose this. So if I was blue, I'd be trying to shore this up. And then basically, you know, if you get to here, Red starts having problems of his own with, you know, these buildings and so on. But yeah, if you sort all this out and take these, and at least just make sure Red's not got anybody in here, then you could attack across. So you've got more opportunity to attack, like, from here to there without getting shot by this place. So here we go, M1A1 synchronized with Kiowa there. Looks like they both hit. And yeah, so artillery out. It is the cheaper 155s going on the scouts. And the Kiowa died to the Gepard. So there you go, 4 HP there, going down very, very quickly as you'd expect. And Red just in no real hurry to cap this, get those points ticking. I mean, he's got a CV here, right? I understand that this is a very important part of the map. In general, this map is very imbalanced. Red's got a huge advantage here. So, yeah, a second artillery. I don't really agree with that at all. I really think, I mean, getting a second Roland short, second Gepard, there's no point if there's a Gepard here. Just move the Roland up. He should be spamming out Marder 1A2s, and the Leopard 2A3 makes sense. I suppose if you put the second Roland here, it can make sense. But yeah, instead of the second arty, you just get 2 extra Marder 1A2 Milans, right? This is 140, and this is 35 plus 50, so you can basically get 2, more or less. And then seize this. Because, yeah, the RT, you know, it's good, but the more you buy, it's sort of like diminishing returns, basically. 1 piece, very useful. 2 pieces, useful. 3 pieces, it's just overkill, really. It's hard to keep them all firing. You usually don't have enough targets. So, yeah, without recon here, you see the enemy actually gets the first shot off there, even though they've got the same range. And, yeah, Jojo, he's struggling because... Okay, so now, you know, now he's got the recon there. But, yeah, this is exceptional optics. There are Panzer Grenadiers in here. Gepard goes down because it was coming down the main road, which was just not really very intelligent. Ito here is quite useful, but yeah, the Leopard 2 and the Marders have sorted this out. So CFV goes down because, yeah, it's just not got the armor to be fighting at close ranges against a tank with such high AP. Leopard 2 surviving, Bradley losing to Marder, which is not really what you'd expect. And there's the ITV, and that, yeah, so we did speak about this, and there you go, so he didn't react in time. If he was paying attention, should have really been able to sort that, and then he didn't retreat this. Okay, so Blue getting some wins there. He actually killed the mega tank on this side when I wasn't looking, so I do apologise for missing that. He is taking mega losses. He's going to get sideshot if he's not careful. Well, now this has to back anyway. Ito's getting artillery. I really didn't agree with that second card of artillery. Like, one, yeah, okay. He gets the Ito, though, so that's something at least. And this Abrams should get out, and it does. But yeah, the Bradleys, I mean, they're just... this really needs to be back here. And, oh, okay, so this is forced to smoke, because the TOW 2 probably would have hit it. Look in my eyes, using all his micro on these towed howitzers, moving them around. As we spoke about in the deck review, can you micro handle it? Are you good enough? I mean, there's a big fight happening here. These should have been pulled back, but they weren't, because somebody was moving his artillery. Same with this Jaeger Aufklärer, could have ran away, but no, somebody had to move his artillery. So, you know, something to think about. Are you really saving 75 points if something dies when you're not looking? CEV gets sideshot there because it didn't have a move order, so it used its auto cover mechanic to reverse here, showing its side armor to the Jaguar 2, which probably would have killed it anyway because, yeah, so it would have killed it anyway with a front shot. These Abrams, Jojo really needs to finish healing them before sending them out here. And yeah, he'll have the vision soon enough. He has actually managed to seize this, and yeah, you know, was it worth it with the two howitzers? These two howitzers together could have been an extra Leopard 2A3 here, or 3 extra Marders. I do think there was a lack of Marders. He is getting kills, right? He is killing things, and he will be able to get the Iltis in this zone. But yeah, the Bradleys now taking names. Apache's out. But yeah, the Leopard 2A4, but yeah. It is gonna be... Oh wow, a miss and then a hull breach crit. Well, Jojo, very bad player clearly. And then a second miss with 75% accuracy. Incredible gameplay. It's what we like to see here on the Hippie YouTube channel. At least somebody is having bad luck, that isn't me. And yeah, this Gepard is in minimum range of this ATGM, so we can't actually shoot it. Good thing is, it can't actually shoot back, apparently. And the Abrams, they're not healed. They're taking damage from the bow par. This is not good. This is... Third Armoured should not be doing this. It should be playing nice and slow. But yeah, he's confident in his Apache. The Rowan 3 hasn't really been moved up to meet it, and the Leopard 2A4, just no micro here. Damn. Eagle just YOLOing over the middle of the map there. They do that if you don't have orders. It should really die here. And then down it goes. So there you go. Here's the Air Cav Troopers, which we spoke about in the deck review. Good firefighting unit. You could get it in quite fast. It's at no vet, though. And yeah, the Rowan 3 is now going to shoot the Apache. Misses. Apache needs to run away right now. The Rowan 3 does fire twice. And there you go. So you're routed. The Gepard trying to finish it off, but comes out and gets shot by the Abrams. So, I mean, all this arty should be going on the tanks, really, not the CV, because the CV can just move, whereas the tanks are slow and have half armor and are worth 3 times as much. More than... Wow. 5 times as... No, that would be 200. 7 times as much? 7 times as much. This is worth 7 times as much as that. So he went on that because it's a CV. So, you know, be careful with these things. Yeah, Blue really suffering from a lack of AA here. I do like the mortars for smoke, but I'm very surprised that he's just not bothered to buy any, you know, an extra stinger or anything. So the Eagle there loses to the plane, which is like 80 points less there. 60 to 80 points less. I think it's might be 60. Might be 70. So yeah, that's your air RNG for you. It's bad play, I guess. And yeah, these howitzers, you know, they should be focusing the... okay, well, I mean, this has been healed now. So yeah, he's going on the smoke mortars, which is very intelligent. And the way you fix this is the whole point behind self-propelled smoke mortars is you can move them between salvos. So getting them and not moving them is big sad. Now he's given them a move order instead of a reverse order there, so they have to turn. This one might die here, basically, because of that. So yeah, if he'd given them a reverse order or a move order forwards, they would have been fine. But instead he gave them a move order backwards, so they spent all that time turning around, and they got shot. So just something to keep in mind. It is very difficult to make these split-second decisions. In the meantime, there were 2 tanks here before, now there's 1. I'm not sure what happened to the second one. And, yeah, Blackhawk going down there. Red, firm grasp on this side of the map. So Blue not out of the woods yet. Their smoke's been taken out. Leopard 2A4's here. Losing that M1A1 was very sad. And just Blue just not getting the stingers. Like, this shouldn't... No, this needs to be over here. Because that's where the helicopters are, right? So you really want it. You want it over here, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Because the Chaparral can't get as close as the Stinger, so the Stinger should be further forwards. Just parking it in this building doesn't give you much, unless it comes, you know, if a helo comes over here, in which case you've got this Stinger. So this Stinger should really be coming up to this building, you know, this way. So M1A1, I mean, I do admire Jojo's willingness to just send these tanks out with, like, no HP. I couldn't do that. And now you're going to find out the power of the AT4 here, as it does literally nothing. And then dies to Panzer Grenadiers. So, Stinger unloaded. ACGM's in here now. Blue getting squeezed on this side. Howitzers not firing optimally because it's difficult to micro them. So, you getting your point savings there? Probably not. Something to think about. Here we go. They're now shooting. Scouts out. Really need an AA over here. Right, so AT presumably coming for the Abrams. Which I assume he can... maybe he can't see it. I don't think he can see it. And yeah, this needs to be... There you go. He's queued up the move orders now. He's queued up the move orders now. And that's going on the... Okay. Okay. That was a 30-point vehicle. And that was like a 215-point AT plane. So... Not sure about that. I think he might have forgotten to give it orders or something and it just auto-queued there. Stinger's dead. Abrams still fighting the good fight with its 3 HP. Mr. Shia here. And yes, okay, Stinger on this side, fantastic. So, Blue, he made some progress, but he overextended, basically. He should have held this, right? Put the tank there or whatever. It's being blocked by the smoke, right? But he overextended. You got to be very careful when you're third. And this is probably going to die. I'm not sure what's going on over here. Alright, well, it dies anyway. Yeah, you got to be really careful with your helos. Like, if it's not actively engaged, just send it back somewhere where they can't see it. I guess that was the idea there. There's the power of the CV, which we spoke about. Chappie and Stinger both missing all those targets there. And this one as well. It does happen. And he's going on the mortars. Which, basically, they fire 2 salvos before they move. So, yeah. That's probably dead. He never healed it up either, so... Whoa. Man, I don't know what was going on there. I didn't even try and save it. So, additional Stingers purchased now, which is what you like to see. 22 minutes left in the game. Red's clearly got the advantage because he's got this half and there's not really anything here. I do like the M109, getting some shots in here. Should kill that Milan too. Down it goes. And yeah, Looker here. I mean, really, you need an ATGM here covering this. And H.A. Abrams, bam! Will 2-shot the Leopard 2A3, so he has to smoke him back. The HA, very, very powerful. But what happened to the 2 regular M1A ones? Oh, there's one, and the other one must have died. So this is going on the Stinger, which you might think is smart, but there's actually a lot more AA there than just that Stinger. So, will it get out? I mean, it shouldn't really have gotten out there, but okay. Leopard 2A4 engaging on the Stinger. You got to be careful here. Oh. Okay. At least he's not going back exactly the way he came. But yeah, if he'd gone further forwards into the building, I think he would have been fine as well. Oh, okay, well. And yeah, if I was in Red's position, I'd be pushing over here. There's really nothing here. Obviously, he doesn't know that, but I mean, there's a tank here not doing anything. You could literally just... You've got the recon, right? This, put it there. Move this up to here. Get the tank forwards and just kill that. Send it back. It's a micro thing, right? It's difficult to micro that while you're microing all this. And while you're constantly moving your towed artillery. So, going on the supply there, very chunky supply vehicle, will be a good kill. I think there actually used to be a tank there as well, so I guess it makes sense. And there goes the CV, as you'd expect, really. Another thing you can do is hide it right behind here, which he was doing at some point, and he got hit by the RT. But yeah, just this map is just really unfortunate for Blue. He's got this, though, which helps him a little bit, but even then, like, where are you hiding your CV, right? You can't hide it here unless you've sorted this out. And even then, this can see you, so... You've got to hide it behind this house. Red can literally just destroy this house. AT plane coming in here. I believe this will 2 hits kill this? I can't remember. 2 front hits. A side hit will kill it. So you need 17 armor to survive this missile. If you've got 21, can you survive 2? I don't think so, actually. I know the UD can, but I don't know if that's because of the ERA. Anyway, this is in a good spot here. And, okay, so some Bradleys. I was going to say, could use some Bradleys, although you don't want to park them here, because then you're in tank gun range. You want them here, really. You want them here. Chaparral spotted. Ooh, survives. Fire team. Okay, so some Bradleys have been deployed here. Blues realise this is quite a low intensity flank. And yeah, this will not one-shot that Bradley, so he can afford to not smoke, because if he gets hit, it's fine. See? And there you go. And yeah, okay, so they're all unloaded on that Unimog. Now, they've got enough missiles, they don't have to worry about it. And yeah, you know, you could use some recon here for Blue. And really, I think he should be trying to sort this out. So, if that had hit, it would have killed this, because it's not at full HP. But yeah, flying into 2 Chaparrals and 2 Stingers is never advantageous. So he's got to smoke here, because if he gets stunned, the ATGM spam might kill him. Okay, well, looks like he weathered the storm. That was on the ground, which is how the tank shot it. In real life, they can shoot at low-flying helicopters, but in this game, they've got to be on the ground for that to happen. It's just a balance thing. Because, yeah, you know, you may have noticed... Oh, that's not what you want to see happening. So we stuck this out, and it got side shot by the Leopard 2A4C and the Leopard 2A3, and that's a very expensive tank. And yeah, this map, it's all about just trying to, especially in this matchup, it's just about trying to get those tiny little angles so you can side shot, which is why I said Blue should be on here, really. Having said that, you know, Red also has good infantry, so Red could be moving down here. But both sides sort of neglecting this. Having said that, again, Blue has managed to sweep Echo, and so he stops the tick there. I mean, Red is right now winning. If the game ended right now, it would be a draw. Wow, so that just survived that. Okay, got to move your AA after it shoots every time. And yeah, that Bradley going down. It's a shame it missed that, because it could have killed it, and that's a very expensive tank. Lost the Chaparral, lost the Bradley. And he lost the HA Abrams, so yeah, Blue back on the defense on this side, although he will get the CV in, which will give him a +2 tick. Leopard 2A3 here, he hasn't really got an answer for it. He can shoot the Bradleys at it, but as you can see, like, so he needs to hold his own here and then just smoke. Okay. I meant Blue should wait until it hits and then smoke. But Red waited until it missed and then smoked. I mean, you should, well, whatever. It should have hit, really, but, you know, this game, it has chance-based mechanics. CV, you see how much damage it does to the Fernge, but I just don't see the need to bring it at Nova, because, I mean, he's literally bought 1 or 2 all game. M1, A1s, yeah, he needs more AA here, because, you know, he can move up the Chaparral, I suppose, to here, but he's only got, what, 1 Stinger and this one. And Red's managed to retake this. He's now got 4 howitzers, which I think is a huge mistake. This depends how much attention our man Jojo is paying. Right, so he chooses to smoke and then move sideways, because by smoking he won't get side shot as easily, right? So that makes sense, actually. He could have also gone backwards. Or he could have gone forwards, but not knowing what's here, backwards I think would have been the best idea. But he didn't want to leave the zone, you see. And yeah, lots of money in this artillery here. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think he'd get more value out of, you know, what was that, 4 extra Marder 1A 2 Milans, I think. Would probably be quite useful to have. Blue, having a bit of a supply shortage here. Okay, so he's got the supply here. And, okay, rocket plane takes out the fire team Dragon. Stinger misses. Fernspeer will lose to the MP patrol because of this recoilless rifle, which shoots infantry. And the suppression's going to take him out straight away. CV doesn't have smoke. He can't afford to just sit there. But yeah, as you can see, this is exactly what I spoke about at the start of the game. Blue has taken this, which gives them this, and if you've got this, this nice long line actually becomes a lot less easy to hide in. Especially if you get some recon up there, and then you can even start putting things in here, like a recon unit. I wouldn't put an ATGM in there because it'll just die. The recon unit will also just die, but it'll help you in the meantime. So F4F's trying to strafe infantry there. Alright, MP patrol going in on the Fernspeer and winning, as we spoke about. Although there are tanks helping out, and now they're in a building and so on. But, you know, you could just believe me, right? And Blue, he's done it. He's sorted this out. He's now messing up the artillery, which is hilarious. Looks like Red hasn't been spending his points or something. He's got big forces coming in from the base now. And look at that. Shooting in the side. I mean, obviously it's not a side shot, but he's shooting from the side. This Leopard 2, and this Leopard 2's in a really rough spot now. He's not smoked. Well, that wasn't very smart. This is a lot of crap. I think Blue will have to retreat here. Does get a Marder 1A2 Milan for his problems, but yeah, he's smoking and backing. Needs an M1A1 here, really, to shoot across here, right? And he's on a +2, and Red's position has gone from being incredible to just being very poor now. Now, a lot of that is because, yeah, 3rd Armoured in the late game starts getting somewhere. A lot of it is he wasted a lot of his aircraft, and so he can't punish these overextensions. In the same way that he could have if he hadn't wasted his aircraft. And a lot of it is buying 4 artillery pieces, right? So I think I'm bang on the money there. That's a lot of arty, and it's not doing a whole lot of work, right? Half of it's out of ammo. It's draining all his micro because you have to keep moving it. Jojo could be using this a bit more, but I mean, it is reloading, which means it has just fired. And yeah, I really do think Aircav Troopers on 1 bet. And there you go, so he just surrenders. Yeah, that's fair enough, really. I mean, the KD was very similar, but Jojo was definitely in a position where he was good. I mean, look at that. It's similar to 2 decimal places. Yeah, Jojo was definitely in the stronger position there. So, like, Red, he might have been able to pull it back, but at that case in the game, you know... So really good play from Blue there. Rank 130 with 176 games, quick maths. And LookInMyEyes was rank 1, and then he was rank 2 for most of it, and currently he's rank 4. So he's gone up by 1 since we started recording. But yeah, usually he's rank 2. So very convincing win there on the bad side of Death Row by the rank 160 against the rank, you know, 2. So really good play, really good game. Do let me know what you think. And I do think that, so I don't watch these in advance, but as soon as he did what I said he should do, he won. Obviously it's easier for me because I can see everything, right? Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. GG.